What's up, guys? Welcome back to the next tutorial on HTML. Previous videos we have discussed all these H1, heading 1, header 1 all the way to header 6. Plus we discussed this paragraph P, and we also discussed this BR for break, and we also shown this images source and anchor tags, and we also shown this how to take this writing and make it anchor text and go to the second page. And as you guys see, and looks like I'll have to start my XAMPP. You guys have to start your XAMPP, and you guys, I'm on the second page now. So in this tutorial we're going to show you guys division. What is div? Div is one of the most important, one of the very basic of the HTML, when you can wrap entire this H1 into a div. So div is very important, and you guys can put this H2 and this one, or this three inside the div. So I'm gonna put div, and I'm gonna close my div. So now it becomes, this entire thing becomes part of this div. Why div is so important? Alright, so because we're gonna discuss this in the next videos, CSS, which is cascading style sheet, and we need you guys to understand that there is something called div tag. It means it's division or divide. I think it's division. So now if we go here, all these three are inside this div. So now all these three tags are inside this division. So you can put a div inside div. You can put as many div you want, and all these divs inside this div. So now if we press Ctrl U, okay, so now you see that we have our HTML, we have our header, we have our body, and we have this. Now you guys can see this is inside this div. We can put our classes inside this div, we can put our ID, we can name it, we can do whatever we want so with this div. But it's very important for you guys know that this div can be anywhere. This div, you guys can put this div here. With the div you can make it 3 div, or you can put a 4 div, or you can put a 1 div. It's up to you. But if you guys want to break it down and put a div inside div, it's up to you. So you guys can do div inside div inside div. Alright, so what we do is that we come down and we put here div, and then we close this div. Alright, so we are gonna, okay, so we put in another div, and we're closing another our div again. Alright, so now that's the first div, that's the second div. So we put our ID first, this one we put our ID second. So now we have 2 div sitting on top of each other, and there is nothing in between. Okay, so now we are refreshing this, and you guys notice that our div is showing up here inside this browser. When we do here, refresh it, we don't see anything here because there is no writing in between. But once we do the Ctrl U at the back, we see our div, because divs are here. You don't see div there, div are here. You can use it for PHP purposes. You can use it for CSS, cascading style sheet, which we're gonna discuss in the next video. And we could use it for JavaScript. You can turn this div around whichever way you want. You can put it upside down. You can put a different color. You can do a whole new things inside this div. So because this div provide you as a division, you can do anything inside this division. You can change the color, you can change the animation, you can change anything. You can do anything with this div. So now we go here. Okay. Alright, so the way I'll show you guys is there is a div here, and we close this div. We're gonna make 3 divs with these 3 paragraphs. So the first div here, we're gonna make it also div. This second paragraph also div. Alright, so the third paragraph, because we got a closing div here, we're gonna add another div here. Alright, so we are providing this ID. ID is gonna be first div. Okay, then the ID second div. Okay, so the third one is the ID third div. Okay, so we control save it. We go our browser. Okay, you guys see there is not much difference, but when we control U, you guys see that our first div is showing up, our second div is showing up. That's the closing one here. Alright, and you can see our anchor tag as well. You can see that destination. You can see also the destination, the second one, but the second one is called an image. It's called an alternative as well. And you see our break, whatever we wrote here, you can see whatever is here, whatever inside our browser. So if you want to check websites, you can do Control U, and whatever you see is whatever inside this developer's text editor. Alright, so this got a third div, and the third div's closing here. Alright, so what is used? And you can change a lot of things. You can put the first div, you can put a style is equal to, open your thing and put a background. Just for fun purposes, put it red. I know it's too much for you guys, but just to you guys see, and that's how we can do the first div. We put a red here. Okay, so once you do this, and you guys can see that's our first paragraph, the colors changed. That's cascading style sheet, but that's for the next video, and I'm going to show you guys that second one. So the second one, okay, so that's the first one. Now we go on the second one. So what I'll do is that I'll put again style. Okay, open it, close it. Okay, so I'll put a background. So I'll put a colon, and I'm gonna put a green. Alright, so now my second paragraph is gonna be green. And you guys notice that's the second paragraph change the color, and it's green. Okay, that's fun. So now I'm gonna put a style. Okay, so now I put a style, and I'm gonna put a background, and I'm gonna put yellow. Or you can put a black. Black is, anyway, I'll show you the binary is 000. I shouldn't put a black, but okay, So I'll put a black 0 0 0 0 0 0. Okay, that's a binary. You guys just remember binary. Okay, the last one, as you guys see, because the text is black and the color is black, that's what Snow showing the thing. But what you can do is color is FFF. Alright, 6 times F, it means the color is white. Alright, so you guys see that the color of the text is changed, even though that the color is, everything is black, and we change the color. So we can do the rest. We can go here, style background red. Okay, so we can do the color. Okay, so the color is FFF F. Okay, there you go, you got the color. Okay, so looks like we don't need this. Okay, so we do the color FF. Make sure you put your hash. Okay, so now we change the color as well. Alright, so now we're coming here and you see that color of the first one is changed as well. And now we're coming here, so to change the color of the font, color is put FFF. It means that's for white. You guys can put a white as well, but if you put a binary, that's good. Okay, did you guys see that the color of this thing changed? So what if you want to change the whole color of this? You guys can do that as long as you put your div. Okay, so now we go here in the body. You can put one more div. You can change the body color as well, but I'll show you guys how div works. And make sure you put your end div here. Okay, so now you put your end div, and now this div gonna read exactly like that. It's very smart. If you put this div and this div is now the same. So when you change the color, put your style. We didn't put an ID, but ID is normally for JavaScript. So we put a background, we put double colon, this one we put a E3 E3 E3. Alright, so E3 E3 1 is this color, gray color. Did you guys see that this one is changed? You can put any color you like. You can put a white FFF, which was, that's the default color, and you can do this E3 E3 E3. So this E3 E3 is a binary of gray. You can put a gray as well, it's up to you, but E3 E3 is gonna give you more range. So there are like 15-20 kinds of gray, and you see this is the gray, default gray. That's a default gray, but E3 E3 or E1 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 is different gray. So if you put a Control Z to go back, and we put a E1 E1 E1, that's a different gray. So So you guys see that this is totally different gray to that one, to that E3 and E1. All right, so if you go here and do this, we see our whatever we wrote here. So that's our first div, our div closing here. That's the second div, our div closing here. That's our third one, and this one closing here. And this is, you guys can see, because this is closing here, the HTML knows that this div starts from here. It already knows, because this div is a container of all these divs. So it's a div inside div. You can put as many div you like. You can put 50, 60, you can put 100 divs, no problem. All right, so we changed the color. All right, guys, thanks for watching. If you guys got any questions, just put a comments below. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.